between you and me. I know that nothing else matters as long as I have you with me. I will never let you go. I can't escape this grip you have on me, and I know you'll never let me down. And as the floor rushes up to me, that's when I know you haven't let me down. I can face
Hello folks, hold on, give me a minute. I'm just going to change the camera, put this thing down. How are you all doing tonight? Oh, another Monday. I'm trying to get used to these headphones. It's going to be a little bit of an adjustment period for me. Let me just shut that off for a second. See what's going on there. The iPad's still going. Hopefully you're all hearing and seeing me. Let me change my camera angle here. There we go. Oh man. I got the chat up here. Cool. A little different setup with these headphones, and it's kind of weird. I can hear myself like too much almost. Let me turn that down a bit. There we go. 1, 2, 1, 2. Hopefully everything is coming through okay and you guys can hear it and see it. I don't know if you really want to see it though. Well, the guitars are nice to look at, but that's about it. All right, so another Monday night, folks. We had a short, well, kind of a short week last week because we were off on Friday for Good Friday, so that was a nice long weekend. We're finally getting some great weather today, and I think they're calling for some more great weather all week. The bikes are getting here on Saturday because I store my bike and my wife's bike. We store them over the winter at a Harley dealership up north, and so they bring them back to us in the springtime. So I called them last week and I said, bring them back because we want them. So that should be getting here on Saturday. So I'm looking forward to finally getting out and riding again. It's been a long winter. And yeah, so everything's good. I did a whole, I don't know if you can see some of the stuff on the walls here. I used to have some hooks on that side, and both sides had these single hooks or whatever. And I wasn't too crazy about them as far as being very solid. So on Friday, I rejigged everything. I bought this system. It's made by String Swing. It's basically what you see at music stores. It's got those like a lat, and then you put the hook inside of that, and each section is 4 feet section, and I put 5 hooks on each section. So I've got 8 hooks. I've got six guitars and 1 bass, so that's perfect for what I need right now. Can't really see the ones over here that much, but I can probably swing to see. 1 Les Paul's on the ground, or on the stand on the ground, but I usually put it up there with those ones. I can switch them around, it doesn't really matter. I'll give you a better look at it in a bit when I take the other camera there and show you that. But yeah, it's a much better system. It's a lot more solid, and I don't know, I think it makes it a lot more space in here because you don't have, the guitars are hanging off the ground and everything is off the ground. So it gives me a lot more space to work and to move around. So that was one thing I did. And then I had to rejig a few things in the mixer with these new headphones and a bunch of little things with the amp and some pedals and some stuff. So it kept me pretty busy all weekend, and it was a good thing because it was raining all freaking weekend, so it's not like we were going to be outside doing anything. So that's what I've been up to, and been watching some of your live streams and stuff. So it's all good. So let me just go say hi to a few folks in the chat, and we'll get started with our festivities of whatever sort. Got a few things to talk about tonight, and hopefully hope to get some of your feedback and some help from you guys on some of these subjects, but nothing too crazy, but we'll go over them. So I've got Cyber Evil is in here first, so you get the first star, brother. First one in. Quentin James, what's going on? Danny Allen, GTV, Guitar TV, how are you? Still playing I know you got a couple of Gibsons, and you got a Charvel. Last time I checked, your last guitar I think was a Charvel. So I think you're still enjoying those. Landon's in here. How's it going? Todd Flowers, R2. Ben, how's it going, Ben? I'm sorry to hear about your crappy day with the whole band situation. That sucks. I know how you feel, brother. I've been there before. It's not fun. But like I said in the comment that I left you, you know, sometimes it's an opportunity, right? And you can press the reset button. And I think you and your buddy are pretty tight together as far as, you know, you've been together for a while and you seem to get along very well. So both of you as the two guitarists, I think will be able to keep going and find the rest of the band that you need to put together, and, you know, make it your own. And, you know, it'll come back. It's just it just sucks to go through. I know what you mean. You know, we put our hearts into this stuff, right? Especially if you're in a band, and a band is such a hard thing. It really is, because you know, it's not just one person. Unless you're a one-man band, you're dealing with multiple personalities. Not everybody's always on the same page. Some people want to do different things, and yeah, so it's kind of a bummer, because you put a lot of your time into it, and, you know, you've got a path and you're following that path, and it takes, you know, just one little thing, and then it kind of derails for a little bit until you get back on. And so I can share a few of those experiences with you a little later in the show if we have some time. But hang in there, buddy. I know it's not always easy, and just kind of look at it now with fresh eyes and see where things go, and concentrate on doing what you want to do, and it'll come together. I'm sure of it. So, but it sucks. I know what you mean. Scott Connor, how are ya? And Joe Harvey 84, how are ya? Brian Stewart. Got a lot of regular faces in here, regular names anyway. I don't know all your faces. I don't think I've seen you all. Janice, how's it going? Cool song, yeah. Yeah, the songs I play in my in the intro now, or not the one that I play with, like that was just a blues jam, just to kind of do something with. But when it says the stream starting soon and there's a song behind it, those are, I'm playing more of the SMEER songs, the songs from the band and the stuff that I wrote with them back in, well, over 10 years ago now. But yeah, so that's what you're hearing. And I do get copyright claims on my own music, so there'll be a copyright claim on this one, but it's all good, because I contacted CD Baby last week. They're the ones making the claim, because they're holding the music and kind of collecting the monies for the band, anything digitally as far as streaming and so forth. So I did have a conversation with them, and their system isn't really set up so that they can exclude just my channel and not keep doing what they're doing, because my songs, apparently, I looked at the history, are being played all over the place as far as podcast and streaming and everywhere else. So I can either take it right off the system, and that way CD Baby doesn't collect anything for me, or I leave it on there and they just send me a claim, but it doesn't matter, because they're not doing anything to my channel. It just, if they collect, if I was monetized and if I was making any money with ads or anything, I would still get the money. So I was debating that a little bit, and so I'm just going to leave it the way it is for now until I can figure out what I want to do. I'm checking out this other service called DistroKid for the new stuff that I'm writing, and once I release new material and stuff, I probably will go all out with DistroKid and do a little bit more research on how that works, and see if they have any tools that kind of exclude your own channels but still collect on your behalf to protect your copyrights. So, well, it is what it is, but it's pretty cool. It's not a big deal, but it sucks when I see a freaking copyright claim on my channel, because it's my own music, but just the way they're set up, I guess. And let me see. Will, how are you? Will's in the house. Jamal, how's it going? I saw you last night on Ben's show. That was cool. Cool hangout. You guys did over 3 hours, so that was awesome. I'm almost down here. Pete Hickson, that's a new name. Welcome. And as I'm going through here, if I miss any of your questions, just tag me and I'll get them. Brian Stewart says, how is this opening song not getting a copyright strike? It is going to get a copyright strike, but it's my song, so they can't do nothing to me. Brian Stewart says, Brian's attenuator costs more than my amp in 212. Yeah, well, The aux is not a cheap box, but it's for me it was the right tool for what I needed, and I use it a hell of a lot, especially when I want to use tube amps. And with that new amp that I got there, it's amazing. So it was worth it for me, and I'm sure there's other options out there that might do some other stuff for you. Just got to do a little research. Boss is coming out with a pretty cool box there in another month. I think it'll be shipping, so that's something to check out if you're looking for something. They'll probably be priced pretty much close to the same. So who got a guitar now? Joey says. There we go. Everybody's saying hi to each other. Okay, Brad Miller's in here. Alex Radford, how's it going? Almost down to the bottom, folks. Bear with me if I missed your name or whatever. I'm sorry. I will just post in there a question if you've got them, and I'll get to them. Guitarded's in here. Wow, we got a good crowd tonight. We got a really good crowd. And R2, Brian Stewart says, I can't play this long without making a mistake. Oh, trust me, I make a lot of mistakes, brother. And we'll talk about that as well, because as you can see in the title, it's called Guitar Players in a Rut. And I was facing that in the last couple of weeks, and I kind of got out of it this weekend because I was doing some different things, but I'll go over some of that detail, and I'm hoping to get some advice from you guys that have been playing for a lot more than I have as far as years. So we'll see. Sounds better than a real 59. Landon says the and R2 says R9, and that Friedman Brian doesn't come out of that room. No, and I did a whole string change and everything on the R9 yesterday because I bought it a week ago and I haven't put it down every day. I play the hell out of it. So I changed. It had the original strings on it. The guy never played it. It came out of the case 3 times, the guy that I bought it from. So yeah, I played the hell out of it last week. So I put some fresh strings on it, and she's good to go. She sounds great, plays great, so I'm happy. Let's see. No sound, Brian. Hopefully you guys are getting sound. Let me know if you're not. Okay, must be on your end. Everybody can hear me, yeah. If you can't, just let me know. I'm showing the meters and everything going through, so let's hope it's working, because I've been talking for about 10 minutes and if you guys, there we go. Oh, Todd had it on mute. Oh my God. Okay, cool. Hey, Guitar Hack, what's going on? All right, I'm just gonna go down to the bottom here, and then we'll get Chuck Booth in here. Cool, everybody's in here. EVH, how's it going? Got to jump, just want to swing by, sport, no problem, Eric. It's all good, Yeah, so I've been playing guitar for a pretty short time, all things considering. Not playing music for a short time, because I played music all my life, but mostly bass. And getting back into it, I really wanted to be a guitar player, or really wanted to focus on the guitar. So I'm relatively new to every basic chords and a few like the pentatonic scale and things like that. Yeah, that's I can get around that pretty good now, and I'm starting to feel a lot more comfortable. But sometimes I find myself doing the same thing over and over and over, and not like even what I played when we started the show here, I was just playing a blues, and even doing that sometimes I find myself not expressing exactly the way that I want to, or and I'm writing my own stuff, and even that I haven't really started to explore doing like some cool melodies with lead parts and things. I get the rhythm parts down, and I get the riffs and that type of stuff, because I've always done that, and I've written a lot of songs in the past, so I'm kind of comfortable with that. But this weekend I started to explore some different things in guitar, as far as the whole something like the cage system, which I've seen people speak about a lot, and they it's not something that I dove into or I really looked into, or if I did, I kind of looked at it briefly and I said, oh, that's I'm okay, I'll do my own thing. So something as simple as that, you guys are probably saying a cage system, Brian, you should know that. I never really explored it that much. I kind of knew what it was, but never really put it into practice or understood how it connected with scales, how it connected with a major and minor and all that stuff. So this weekend I really, after Friday I did my whole studio stuff, and then once I was done with that, I took Saturday and Sunday to really dive into trying to learn something new and really understand it, not just look at it and play it and then move forward and not worry about it. So I really wanted to explore and work on it. So I did that, and I found myself, coming out a little bit more of that rut, or that thing where you just play and you don't really feel like you're progressing, or that you're doing something that you couldn't do last week or a month ago. So I found that to be very helpful, and now I'm starting to get my head around what the cage system is and how different it is, as far as if I'm jamming with somebody and they're playing a melody and playing an A chord, I can play that same melody or that A chord in a whole different area of the neck and have a different tone and really add some dynamics and some texture to the music, where that stuff started to click at this weekend when I really dove into this, and I started doing had some backing tracks going with single notes and stuff like that, and really tried to put it together. And then all of a sudden something clicked, as far as when I was playing parts and using that cage system, I would do something with, okay, I know what's happening here, and I know why this is connecting to that, and then it started to click. So those types of moments is really what I'm trying to look for now as I'm progressing and trying to learn different aspects of the instrument. You guys would probably find this funny, but even the major scale, like I learned pentatonic, and I learned every position of the pentatonic, and I know what a minor and a major is. I tend to always be in the minor, and I dive into some major stuff here and there, but I'm not as comfortable. I am now. I'm getting more comfortable with it because of this other stuff that I'm learning is tying all this stuff together. So I'm really excited about that, and I'm starting to push myself a little bit more than I used to. And I'm curious, what you guys think. Like, is it something? Do you guys run into this, and what are you guys doing that is maybe pushing your playing a little further, or have advice for me, even saying, look at this thing and try this, or something like. I'm not a big theory guy. I understand part of it, and sometimes I'll watch a little part of somebody explaining theory, and it'll make sense, but I don't really like that moment where everything clicks and you can put it into practice, and then it starts to flow like anything else that you've learned in the past. So I'm slowly building up to that. So I'm curious to know what you guys think. Like, do you guys fall into that zone sometimes? And some of you guys are a lot more experienced musicians or guitarists than I would be, and maybe you have some advice to say, if you're learning the cage system and you're really comfortable with that, then go to this, and those two things will really click, and they'll blend together, and you'll understand a lot more what's going on, and you'll be able to put more pieces together. It's like a big puzzle for some reason. You start with a few things, and you've got this piece and you've got this piece, but there's this and this and this, and it doesn't really line up, and you're doing okay, but you're missing something. I'm overthinking stuff a lot. I'm playing, and while I'm playing, I'm thinking too much about what the next thing is, and I don't flow as good as I would like. And after even learning this cage system on the weekend, then I started to, once I knew where the positions were and how it all flowed together, I started to play more musically and less technically, I would say. Like, okay, I'm thinking I gotta be here. I was just listening to the music, and those things were starting to happen naturally. So let's see. Jamal says, I'm still working on getting the cage system down and how it can help my playing. Yeah, and it really, like I said, I'm still fairly new to that method and understanding how it all connects together, but that helped me a lot this weekend, and I'm looking forward to diving even further into that and understanding how a minor and a major works within the cage system. So yeah, it's pretty cool. So definitely keep at that, Jamal, because I think that's a really good, building block, that part of it anyway. Let me go down here. Gary Holt, how are you? See, Gary Holt jumped in here. He says, my Kramer Crusader Deluxe has about 5 minutes of play on it. Cool. You must have just got it. That's awesome. Brian Stewart says, for me, pushing myself means my pinky. Yeah, and that's why I hear a lot of people that don't use their pinky, right? And it's awkward at first, because I was doing, like, really getting all the 5 positions of the major scale down, because I have, like I said, the pentatonic is where I kind of live, and I really wanted to explore some other stuff on the weekend, and I started doing that, and I focused on leaving my fingers in the positions that they should be to really work on getting that pinky and this finger to work together, because I typically use the pinky a lot less, and when I do, it kind of interferes with this finger as well. So I think that's a struggle for a lot of people. I think that's just normal, but it helps if you can, develop that skill or that kind of technique, or that mechanicism, I guess, if that's even a word, where that stuff starts to become, because after I played, and I was playing it all day yesterday, I was watching TV and I had the guitar and I wasn't really focused on TV. The game was on, I was watching the Leaf, and there's another problem, the Leaf game. I'll get into that if any of you watch hockey. Anyway, I'm not going, that's a whole other road. I'm not going down that road yet. But anyway, I was practicing that major scale all up and down the neck and trying to remember where all these things connected. And I really focused on getting that pinky involved in there. And by the end of a couple hours of doing that, I felt that I was starting to not think about it as much, and the pinky was starting to naturally work and go to these places. But yeah, it is definitely it's awkward at first, for sure. But it's just something, I guess, we keep going until your brain finally says, like the pentatonic now is something that I don't even think about. But at first I was doing exactly what I'm doing now. It's like, okay, over and over and over and over. And then there'll be that moment that everything just, okay, I'm good. I know it. I can move on. And then that stuff just comes naturally after that, which is what I hope happens. But sometimes we get lazy, or we stay in that little comfort zone, and that's enough for us, and we're good. Because when I played bass, I knew, I played some chords and stuff, but very little. I was a bass player playing riffs more than anything, and keeping the foundation and the bottom end, timing with the drums and everything. I still did licks and things like that, but not to the extent where I would do as a guitar player, which is, what I'm focusing on now. Chuck Boot says, no doubt, by way close to home. Okay. Let's see. Denny Allen says, I find the C, A, and E shapes easy up the neck, but the G and D shapes difficult. See, I find that the A, E, and D shapes for me are easy. I find the C and the G, for some reason, what I do with the C and the G shape more than anything is, instead of playing it on the low notes, I play the higher notes, like the higher form of that chord, or the position of that chord. So I'll play like the regular E position, then I'll go to my D position, and then I've got to jump into the C position. So instead of playing the low part of that, I just play the high part of it. I find it easier, or I separate it into two. So I'll play high part or low part, but I won't play them together. Playing them together is so awkward. Like the way the positioning of that chord is, once you start getting down the neck and stuff, it just, it doesn't feel natural. So a lot of times you can use a lot of these things, but incorporate them in the way that it feels natural for you at first. If you're having a difficult time constructing a chord, it's not that it's difficult to construct it. You can sit there and take your time and do it. But when you're actually playing music, you're not going to take that time to do that chord. That passage will have passed, or you're going to be off time or whatever. So you got to get comfortable playing, and then as that moment comes where you're really comfortable doing the full chord, then do it. But I'm separating some of those harder chords or some of the stuff that I feel uncomfortable as far as doing the full 6-string version of that, and separating into 2 parts. And I find that very helpful for me. And I still know what the parts, like what the shape is of the full chord. I just separate it into 2. Let's see, where am I here? Did I miss something? Gary Holt. Okay. Be like Janice, play only chords, Janice says. Yeah, I just want to try to develop everything that I can, because especially now that I'm starting to write my own, like even the stuff I wrote last year, I listened back to it. The riffs are really good and they're solid, but I'd like to add more melodies. And when it comes to solos, the solos I did on those songs a year ago are like, I'm completely different now as far as what I can do and achieve with it, you know, a year under my belt. And now that's what I want to try to do more of, is expand what I know now and the new music that I'm recording now, or even go back to the old songs that I recorded last year and redo the lead parts and maybe add some melodies of stuff that I now feel comfortable playing. So like G major, Joe says the G major, yeah. My dad tried to teach me theory, but my mind could not grasp it, Landon says. Yeah, you know, I'm that way a little bit. Like, I focused a little bit when I got back into guitar to really to try to understand theory, and I watched hours of videos and how people explain it, and it did make sense to me, and I knew what it was, but I couldn't, like, I didn't sit there and put that stuff into practice, and by not doing that, I forget, like, okay, the key of G has these notes in it, or, you know, there's some parts of the theory that stayed with me and some that didn't, and I'd have to go back into it. But to me, it just depends on how much I can use that, or will I use it, or, you know, how much time I want to devote to it, I suppose. Maybe that's just me, but there's things like, I knew the pentatonic was something that I was going to really grasp because that was my style of playing. So I dove really deep into that world, and now I'm trying to get out of that comfort zone. Jamal says, I have a couple of TrueFire courses on the Cage system, how to apply in certain situations. TrueFire is a really good site. I have to look more into that site and see what kind of courses they offer, and maybe find some stuff around that might work. Guitar Hack says, Cage helps to find the right notes to land on. Yeah, that's what I found, as well as I got more comfortable with it. And I have a long way to go still, but I found that even jamming along with a backing track or something, and I knew what the notes were and just the open chords. So as that stuff was going, I was challenging myself to not play the open chords, but play the whole thing using, you know, the Cage system and different parts of the neck, and switching from one to the other. And it really, really expanded my palette as far as tonal qualities, and how I was able to even incorporate some licks as I was maybe in the D position down further on the neck, or in, you know, whatever I was playing. That was part of a scale, and it clicked in a few times when I was playing. Oh, okay, I can do this little part of this scale and get back to that note, and so that's really cool. I'm really excited about moving forward with that stuff. Brian Stewart says, I like tabs and songs that sound good. I used to do a lot of tab stuff as a kid. When I grew up, I'd buy the guitar magazines and I'd follow tabs and things. I don't do that much anymore, and I'm more of a visual type of learner, like where if somebody's showing me, like, you know, on a video or something like that, I seem to connect to that more than looking at a book and saying, okay, I'm put my finger here, but you know, I tend to not gravitate towards that as much anymore. Landon, I'm just lucky if I hit the right notes. I know what you mean, man. Gary says, I collect guitars and Volkswagens. Volkswagens? Oh, I guess I collect guitars and guitars. I don't collect cars. I have one bike. I don't think I'll be collecting motorcycles. I can't afford that, so I'll have one and be happy. Scott Connor says, I understand what you mean about something suddenly clicking. I was reading an article that Joe Satriani wrote on pitch access theory, and it was one of those click moments. Yeah, and it's really cool when that happens, because it just seems to open up something where now you're expanding your, like I said, my palette as far as tonal qualities and techniques. So I love those moments, like when something clicks like that and I'm actually jamming and I'm doing something that sounds like this is what I'm hearing in my head and I'm actually able to play it. That's amazing. So that's the goal for me, is to try to get to a place where I'm not really thinking of what I'm doing, I'm reacting and feeling what I'm doing. So if I'm jamming with somebody and they're playing and we're playing this song, I'm not necessarily thinking all this theory and all this position or whatever. I just know instinctively where I want to go, because I can hear it in my head, like as far as the tune or the riff or the lead part, and I can just make it happen without, you know, too much effort as far as thinking about it, right? So that's where I really want to get to, but that's going to take some time. Let's see. Ben says, I play mainly in major pentatonic, no real clue as to what I'm actually doing other than playing over each chord. Yeah, the major with me is because how the pentatonic is for the minor, where you can, if the song is A, D, and E, let's say, I can stay in the A pentatonic throughout the whole neck, and it doesn't matter if the guy changes to a D chord or an E chord, it still sounds good, and it, you know, I resolve to the right notes and it just works. My mind or my brain seems to connect with that. I know where the major notes are, and I know how to do that, but when somebody switches to from the A to the D, I have to be like aware that like I know that's happening, but I gotta switch to playing the D major pentatonic, if that makes sense, and then play in that zone and resolve to that note, and know where all my notes are on the neck. Like I know, that's the other thing, playing bass for so many years, I know the you know, the low E, A, and D, or G and D, D and G, but the too little B and E, that stuff is like, okay, and then when I look down at my fretboard, I know where all these notes are, so I'm just, that B string always freaks me up, so I gotta get better at seeing that before I even, you know, play it. Quentin says, there's only 12 notes in the entire scale. You think I would know them all by now? Yeah, 12 notes. Guitar Hack says, I try to study progression and use that to determine which scales to use, then play full 8-note scales. By the way, that becomes modal. Oh yeah, don't get started with modes. That's something that, good Lord, I've tried many times to sit there and watch a video of somebody explaining modes to me, and I just can't. I don't know. I think I need to get past this stage where I am here with the cage system and understanding the major and minor scale, like the understanding how all that like works seamlessly, and then maybe those modes will start to make sense to me, and I'll understand how to achieve some of these things. But yeah, don't get me started on the modal stuff. Oh my God, it kills me every time I sit there. Sometimes I sit there and I'm dedicated. I say, okay, I'm gonna sit here for an hour and I'm just gonna keep watching this and try to make sense of it. And it never clues in with me for some stupid reason. Let's see. Quentin says, I'm a pattern player, but I know what chords I'm playing over and I can see things on the fretboard. Yeah, seeing things on the fretboard is key, right? If you can look down and see all that stuff, it's a big difference. It helps. The stupid chat just jumped, but I think I can get back. Okay, cool. I'm gonna skip a few things here. If I missed your questions, let me know. Hey, Sean Aaron, what's going on? That's a new name. Nice to see you in here. Learning relative minors and majors really helped me with leads, G major and E minor. Yeah, because G major, because if I play a G minor pentatonic, the major pentatonic or the major G pentatonic would be the same as E minor. Does that make sense? I don't know. I guess, yeah. I know that you go 3 frets lower or whatever, and that's how I figure out what a minor or a major is of the minor. Quentin James, depending on how you spell it, the important notes are A, C, and E, since they're all in ketchup. Right on. Chuck Boots says, I get in ruts all the time. I will force myself to learn songs out of my wheelhouse in order to get out of the rut. Try some Kill Switch, Engage, or Light Torch. There's a lot of Locrian. Yeah, I mean, that's the other thing. I can sit and jam along with a song, but then I get to the solo and, you know, I can play along with it, but I'm not matching what they're doing as far as a solo, like learning a solo note for note. I've never really attempted to do that, and maybe that would be something out of my comfort zone, where if I really dedicated, I picked one song and I said I'm going to learn this solo note for note, it might help me understand how things connect a little better and help me with, you know, my playing technique even. But when it comes to the solos, I'm still super new. Guitarded says, I have a issue using my middle finger. I use my pinky a lot. Yeah, some people will use different, whatever you're comfortable with, right? Box playing, my issue. I'm trying to get out of the playing in the same box and trying to play a portion of it in that zone and then move to a totally different part of the neck and still carry on with the kind of progression. And I'm getting better at that, especially when it comes to minor pentatonic, but all the other stuff is like, I was playing with that major scale yesterday and I was just putting a backing track that had just a loop of somebody playing a G chord, and I kept doing the whole scale and everything, and then stuff started to really make more sense and I was becoming more melodic and phrasing a lot better. So I just need to do a lot more of that, I think. But sometimes that gets boring, and you know, I'm like, oh, I want to try this, or I want to get back into playing rock or something. So it's just really got to push myself, I suppose. Oh, Brian Stewart had to say it. If the Leafs get by Boston, they'll have to play the Red Hot Blue Jackets. Good luck with that. Yeah. Oh, the Leafs. Every year. I follow hockey, you know, during the regular season. I'm not a diehard fan. I follow the Leafs. I've always been a Leaf fan, but I don't, you know, I watch a few games here and there, but I don't follow every game. But when it comes to the playoffs, I'm really like, every year they get me, and I'm like, okay, this is the year they're going to do something. And first round they screw up or something happens. Like yesterday, they had the opportunity to put Boston out of their misery, and they don't show up. And that was a home game. So now tomorrow they're playing Game 7 in Boston. So they might screw me again this year. So it just sucks. Quentin James, R2 says, Quentin James, I'm going to try an 8-finger pull off. I haven't done that since I was 20. I'd like to see that, R2. Let's see that happen, buddy. Cool. All right. I'm just going to go down a little further here, and then I'll show you a couple other little things that I put together in the pedal board, just briefly, but there won't be that much time left. I don't really want to go too far past 8 o'clock. I know Ben's not doing a show tonight, but Guitar Hack is doing a show at 9:30, so make sure to check out his show. And yeah, so we might go till 8:30 today, and we'll see how the discussion keeps going here, and we'll figure that out. Denny Allen says, with the C shape, I play the inside 4 strings and use my index finger on the G string instead of a bar most of the time. Okay. trying to picture that in my head right now. Instead of, I have a hard time with bars, like that bar chording stuff. Like I can do it, but I'm not super comfortable with it. But play the C shape, use a 4-string using my index finger on the G string instead of the bar. Yeah, that makes sense. There's different ways of playing all these chords that are in that cage system, right? It's like you don't have to play the full chord, or you can just hit the 3 strings of, you know, of a position, and all that stuff still sounds good as long as you're not hitting like an open note that's not in that chord. It's not going to sound bad. I found that when I was dividing like the C and G shapes into 2 parts, and it was sounding good, and I was starting to get a groove and getting really comfortable with it. So I guess we all have our comfort zones when it comes to, you know, chord shapes and things. And if you really want to push yourself, you know, you keep focusing on doing it over and over. But if you're, you know, playing in a band and you're really comfortable with splitting that chord into 2, then there's nothing wrong with that. Crowbars in here, making my rounds. How are ya? Cool. 31 people, awesome. I haven't checked. Yeah, there's 34. So yeah, awesome, guys. Thanks for joining me. It's always nice to have you guys join me on the Monday nights, and I really enjoy doing this. Chuck Boot, I play C or G, C, F, and D on the bars. I love playing the bars. My rut. Okay. Okay, there's guys talking to each other there. Okay, I'm going down. Wow, this chat is like crazy. Okay, I'm back to the where I need to be here. Oh, this chat, why does it do that? All right, we'll figure it out. Will says, I'm in my early days, I would just listen to an album and figuring it out. Also writing down notes at live shows and of course jamming. Yeah, I guess there's different ways, whichever way you learn best, but I have a hard time looking at a book and, you know, how they put the tabs or they put the notes and stuff. I never really was that good at doing that. I'm more of a, like I said, a visual learner, so I like to see somebody actually playing it in front of me, and then I can, you know, progress a lot better that way. Let's see. Yeah, thank the Lord of YouTube. I learned more in a week than in a year the old way, which helps, of course. Yeah, me too, man. If I had the resources that I have today to learn when I was a kid, it would have been a hell of a lot better. That's for sure. Marsman, how's it going, buddy? Cool. Guitar Hack says, I can explain modes. It's more simple than you think. Well, someday, Guitar Hack, you're going to have to sit down and show me, because that's one thing that I just can't seem to wrap my head around and make any, like, I make some sense out of it. I understand that by starting on a different note and playing the same scale, it has a different feel and a different vibe. It's just I don't understand sometimes how they connect and when to use one or not. And I don't know. I need to work on that a hell of a lot more if I want to get better at understanding that part. But yeah, someday you're gonna have to sit and show me some stuff, because there's certain things that I pick up like that and it makes sense, and there's other things that I just don't understand. Crowbar, I've broken down modes to minor scale patterns built off of different scale degrees. The real challenge is how to use them. Yeah, exactly, right? Yeah. G major is E minor. G major is E minor, share the same notes. That's right. Okay, that's what I was thinking. Gotcha. I thought it was the other way around, though. E minor. I thought the G minor pentatonic was... Oh, yeah, no, you're right. Okay, I get what you're saying here. Yeah. I only think in minor scale patterns and identify the minor and major roots. Crowbar says. Okay. That makes sense. Minor scale is the major scale, is in the major scale. Yeah, I know that it's all like connected. It's just, you know, when you're playing over a major progression, it's a little different how you use it and where you land, because if you land on the wrong notes and stuff, it just sounds kind of weird. It doesn't work. So that's what I have to get used to. You're only one fret away from a good note. That's true, Quentin. That's true. I've heard that a lot. When you're playing, you're only that one note. So if you're hitting a bum note, just go up or down one, and you're usually going to get you hit it right. That's very true. Joey says, I find it funny big time players don't know theory. Well, look at Ace Frehley. He doesn't know any theory, or even like he knows that he's playing a scale, but I've heard him in interviews and stuff, and people ask him, you know, what scale or what are you in a major? Like, he doesn't know. He just says, no, I do this, and he just kind of knows that that's what it is. But he doesn't. I don't think he could sit there and explain to you theory or different scale patterns and all that stuff. It's weird. Yeah, it's definitely weird. Crowbar says, key is learning chords and pentatonics and knowing how they match up. Then add the other two notes to the pentatonic and you get used to how the 7th scale pattern fits in the pentatonic. Yeah, that's a good point. That's a good point. That's probably true. I'd have to try that. But yeah, I'm going to try that. You're probably right. Hey, Jason. What's going on? Jason Wade's in here. Somebody pull my finger. YMCA, brother. Landon says, a wise guitar player told me once, learn everything, then forget it. Yeah, that's the thing. There's so much stuff to learn that unless you play it every day, you're not going to... Well, some people retain stuff a lot better, but as we get older, we don't always retain everything the way we did when we were kids. Cool. I'm going to make my way down here a little bit more. Wow, this chat, man. Showman, how's it going? Kerbosh says, it's frustrating knowing what to do and not being able to apply it. Yeah, it comes with time, though, I think. For me, anyway. It's just a matter of... When something clicks, though, I usually retain it pretty good, and then I'm good. I can do it over and over, and I kind of have it. It's almost like riding a bike. Once you get past that initial stage, you can get back on a week later and no problem. But it's getting to that point where it's making sense, and then you apply it and it works, then it's kind of like ingrained. And as long as you play it, you know, once in a while or whatever, you're not going to forget it, or not going to forget it as easily, maybe. Okay, cool. I'm just going down, trying to get down to the bottom of this chat as quickly as possible so that we can move forward. Playing with another guitar player, I try to play triads while he's hitting bar chords. Yeah, that's a good point. That's what I would do as well. Now having played with the Cage system a lot is, you know, trying to hit different tonal parts of that same chord and figuring out, okay, you're going to play that, I'll play this, and then that would be cool. But I don't play in a band, right? So I'm just doing it by myself. But as I'm writing now, I'm going to implement a lot more of that stuff in my writing, where my riff will be in, you know, whatever chord, and then I'll add a second guitar track and maybe emphasize notes in a different part of the neck using the Cage system. So I'm excited to do that stuff now. That kind of opened up my mind to, okay, I'm going to try this now. That'll be cool. And that's really where I want to get to, is to just expand the knowledge, right? And then put it into practice and see it happen, right? Let's see, later, Quentin's taking off. Showman says, hey Brian, this is a different angle, or are we in a different room? No, it's the same pretty much the same angle. I changed the lens on this camera and put it on the one in the back, so maybe the lens is a little different, but it's pretty much the same angle. I'm thinking maybe I might move the camera over to this side so you would see more of that side of the room. So I don't know, I'm still experimenting with setups, but no, it's the same angle. Oh, okay. As I say that, the camera flickers. Yeah, here we go. Hold on. I might have to move to the other camera. All right. See, as soon as we talk about a camera, we get an issue. So bear with me here, folks. I'm just going to shut this one off and I'm going to turn it back on. And if not, I'll just go to the second camera and watch the iPad or the chat on the iPad. Let's see if this works. Come on. There we go. I don't know if this is going to work, but let's see. Okay, looks like it's back. I don't know if it's going to stay. I'm having an issue with this camera. I don't know if it overheats or something, but I'm still trying to figure it out. But it's funny, you say that and we start talking about it and it happens. Oh, it's fun technology. Let's see. Dale Palmer, how's it going? Welcome. Absolute Mayhem's in here. Guitar Hack says, hit me up anytime and I'll show you. Awesome, yeah, I will definitely take you up on that, brother. I will need some help. The best mode is chocolate pie a la mode. Scott Connor. Cool. Ben says, I may have gotten it backwards. I'm not sober. Oh, you're not sober, Ben? Come on, brother. You're all right. You'll be all right, Ben. Zach Thong. It's going down here. Chuck Boot says, I got the C bar wrong. I know the chorus B is buzzing in my chorus B. Gotcha. Tony Iommi would shake the entire chord. Okay, I'm just gonna get right down to the bottom. Here we go. I'm down to the bottom and I'm just going. Angus doesn't know theory, but it works for him. Yeah, a lot of the good players, you'd think that they would know all of this stuff that we're talking about, and a lot of them just play by feel and it just happens, right? But if you sit down and talk to them about this stuff, they'd probably go, what the hell are you talking about? I don't know. Thing is, I'm lazy. Yeah. Oh, we all get lazy. But this weekend I found myself as I learned some stuff with the cage system, and I started to work with the major chord and working with both things and connecting the dots, I was getting more inspired and and felt like I wanted to do more and more. So that's always cool when something can trigger something in you and you really want to learn more and you start to dive in. Problem is with me in the summer, I have less time. Like in the winter, I have more time to play guitar, to record, to set up all these things that I'm doing. In the summer, I have my regular job, which keeps me busy, and then weeknights I do stuff here or play guitar or whatever, but on weekends I'm usually like gone. I take off on my bike and we're gone for the day or the weekend sometimes. So, but I'll still keep working at it. Marco's Image, how's it going? Don't press the red button. It's the seat eject. Might as well be R2. I'm telling you right now. I've got so many buttons in front of me. It's insane. Jason, I'm not even going to repeat that. That's a serious looking chair. This is just a regular, can you see it? I'll go this way. It's just a regular chair like all these other YouTubers have. I think Jason has one, and Stafford Studios has some. It's a gaming chair, but it's so cool because you can drop the arms, and when you're a guitar player, you're sitting in a chair, you don't want that arm down, you just lift it up and it's out of the way. So that's why I picked this one up, and I picked it up at Staples for 99 bucks. It was on special, so but it's I guess it's a popular chair for YouTubers because I see a lot of them every time I watch streams and stuff. A lot of people have this same chair. It's pretty comfortable. I like it, but it's all about these arms for me. It's getting those out of the way, because I used to have another chair that had arms and I couldn't move them, and then I play guitar and my guitar would always hit it, and it was like, screw that. I need something different. All right. Chuck Boot says Marty Friedman adapts guitar Asian music. He has been doing that since he was a kid. That's why he's soloing so different. Yeah, he has a really different style, and his tone is there's something different every time. It's true. It's definitely true that he has his own thing going. Ben, sober is just another state of mind, like Texas. Absolute has the same chair, so there you go. See, a bunch of you guys have this chair. Tone comes from the chair. I wanted a red one. They only have the blue one for some reason, like the blue accents on it, but still getting used to these stupid headphones though. Not that they're stupid, they're good. I mean, like it's cool not to have a cable or whatever, but it's got a pelt pack, but it's having that kind of wire going around your ears and stuff and on your back. It's like a little different. But okay, so we've exhausted some of the trying to get out of a rut, and I will take some of your advice here and look at some other things and hopefully move forward with that. Yeah, so the other thing I wanted to show you, and I don't know if this will work. Let me, I want to show you my pedal board as it sits today, because it's changed a little bit since the last time we looked at it, which was months ago, right? So let me see. Scott Connor says, speaking of bikes, have you read Neil? Yeah, I did read Neil Peart's book about his road trip. That was an awesome book. That was an awesome book. He lost his wife and daughter in I believe it was an accident or something, or I can't remember now, but he wrote a book. He took off on his bike for, I think, for over a year. He was gone, and he just lived. He just took off on his bike and just rode, and he lived off of that bike for over a year, I think, and he wrote a book. It's anybody that's out there that wants to read it, have a good read Neil Peart's book. I can't remember. Do you remember the name of the book, Scott Connor? If you do, put it in the chat, because I think a lot of these guys here would enjoy that read. But it was pretty tragic what he went through, and nobody knew he was going to come back and play music again, or be, he was changed after that, right? But yeah, it's a good book. Check it out. Brian, what picks do you use? I use Dava picks, and I was using the red Dava picks, but now I'm using, they're still Dava picks, but I guess it's not yellow, well, it's like a lime green ones. It's the jazz ones, I think they're called. Hold on, let me grab the pack. It says right on the pack. These are, they're called Grip Tips Nylon. Doesn't say if they're, just says Grip Tips. Can you see that? So these are the ones I've been using now for the last couple of weeks, and I like the other ones that I was using, the red ones. They're a little different than this, but recently I've been kind of liking these a lot. So those are the ones I've been using most of the time now. Let's see. Will Verhill says, someone told me that there are no chairs in Canada, only seats. Cool pics, thank you for sharing. Yeah, no problem. I really like these pics, and I only found these probably a month ago, Dava pics. I never even knew about them, and then I tried some, and I'm like, wow, these things are amazing. I like because they have a little bit of a textured rubber to them, and when you play, I don't know, it feels more like connected, and they can get a lot more dynamics out of them. But yeah, that's what I've been using. So let me go to that pedal board and see if this will work. Who knows? Technology. Let me go here. Does this work? You guys see that? Let me see if I can move that picture a bit. And like that. Cool. So what I've done is I've tried a bunch of drive pedals, overdrive pedals, distortion pedals over the last couple of weeks. Well, over a month now, I guess. I've been trying some different stuff. And I settled on this one here. You can see it. It's can I even point it? Do you see that? When I do that, no, it won't show you. But there's one there that it's right next to my compressor, and it's the Super Lead, the SL from Exotic, is the same company that makes the EP booster sitting next to it. And that's the drive pedal that I've seemed to, I think that's the one I'm going to keep and work in my system now, because I really like it. It's, I tried a couple of other ones before this. Tried a SMEER Riot pedal, which was really good as well, but it was more almost too much distortion. I needed something that would be able to do a lot of distortion, but also when you cranked it down, as far as you could get more of a classic rock type of sound, and this one seemed to do it in spades. I really like it a lot. And then I needed a chorus pedal, so I picked up this Corona pedal. It's like the beer, and it's just a little pedal, and don't mind like it's not set up. I haven't put the Velcro or anything on these pedals, so people with your OCD and all that stuff don't get freaked out that something isn't lined up. I haven't set the board yet because I was still trying some chorus pedals and some drive pedals, and then over the weekend I picked up that Keeley. You can't really see it in here because of the big pedal there is a Keeley Caverns pedal, which is a delay and reverb together in one pedal. So I had a carbon copy. I've taken that off the board and I've put this one on here because the Friedman amp doesn't have reverb in it. So this way I could add reverb, and I still had the delay part in one pedal and use one power strip instead of using two power strips. So that's what I've been using in the last couple of weeks, and I've really started to like that tone. And even the chorus, I kind of leave it on all the time, but it's really a slight chorus. It's not like it's you know, like turned up very, like the effect isn't too dramatic. When you go to clean, it sounds really nice, but it's not like chorusy. You can't really tell. It just, I have it set so it makes your notes a lot thicker maybe, and I use it with distortion and everything, and it sounds good. And that's when I was playing jamming when you guys first got here in the stream, that's what I was using. So right now I've got the reverb on, but you can put the delay on as well on that Caverns pedal, that Keeley Caverns, pretty cool. So yeah, that's the setup for now. With the Friedman amp, I think that this is how I'm going to go, and you can even tell the EQ has changed a lot since using the Mesa. I don't scoop the mids as much with this amp, and you know, I've even brought down some of the high end. It's pretty flat other than that, but it does make a difference. Putting this pedal on and off, you definitely hear a difference. So that setup is kind of where I'm at. Let me see what we got here. Guitar hacks, I've been trying the green Davas too. Yeah, I like the green Davas, that's for sure. Let's see. Phil McKnight has been in favor of those Dava picks for a long time. Yeah, see, I'm pretty new to the Dava picks. I wish I would have known about them a lot sooner. This camera's gonna keep flicking, so I gotta figure what's going on with that, but we'll figure it out. Cool. Let's see if we've got any questions. So let me just grab the guitar and give you a sense of what these pedals are doing to the tone and without the pedals and all that good stuff. Just a quick, nothing crazy, nothing. So, all right, let me just grab this here. I guess I should shut off the mic as well. Let me just do that. And let me go to the other camera angle because this other camera is not going to cooperate, obviously. There we go. And I'll turn this one back on to see if it works, but it probably won't. So right now what you're hearing, let me go to the clean Oops. So if I shut off my drive pedal, so right now I've got reverb on and all my other pedals are on with some chorus. So there's part of my scale that I learned. And let me see, G. So that would be, there we go, the E position in G, and then I would do the D. Yeah, that's a hard one. So yeah, trying to put all that stuff together. Anyway, that's besides the point. Here's what we're talking about is, let me just, so yeah, so this is clean. This is both pickups. Right? And this is like the bridge pickup, clean. So even the reverb, there's not a whole lot, just a little. And then here's the neck pickup. Right? So then if I put my drive, just a drive, this is still in the clean channel. And I'm on the bridge pickup, so it's probably going to sound a little bit bright, but right? So that gives me more of that classic rock type of drive. It's not super distorted, but I still got the chorus on, so you can, I don't know if you can tell. So if I take the chorus off, and I put it back on, it's just very slight, but it's still, I find it thickens up the sound a little bit more. Now, if I take off the drive pedal, and I'm back to clean, and I go to the dirty channel of the Friedman, so that's the dirty channel of this. So the Friedman amp's own distortion is really, really good. I like it a lot, and it's a little bit more saturated than when I just put my clean channel and I put the drive pedal. So that's the reason I got that drive pedal. It was more to give me more like classic rock, Marshall-y, You know, and then when I roll the volume, I can clean it up a lot. So that's the current setup right now. I'm still tweaking it and figuring out everything that I want to do with it and making sure that it all works properly. But right now you're just hearing everything coming from the aux. So the speaker simulation is a 412 and a SM58, SM57 and a Royer 121 mic. So I do have a live cab in here, but I haven't activated that. I can. I wonder. Let me see. Let me activate the cab, and you guys will probably. No, I can't do it because I don't have it set up on the mixer yet. But I will someday, and you'll hear it sounds insanely huge in here with that cab. All right, let me go back to the front. Put this here without dropping it here. That would not be good. All right, that's off. You guys can still hear me. All right. Yeah, so that's where things stand with the tonal chase, and I keep, tweaking it a little bit here and there. Okay, let me go back to the chat. Cool. Hey, Shauna Marie, how are you? Hope you, I will send you an email. I got your comment that you had posted in one of the videos regarding doing some collaboration and stuff, but it got caught in the spam filter for some reason, so I just saw it today. So I did reply to it. You probably saw that, and I will be connecting with you with emails in the future here as soon as I'm ready to go. Let me just switch my camera so you guys can see me. This camera here is acting up, so if it flickers or whatever, then I'll change to the back one. So, cool. I'm just seeing if I missed anything. Bearded Blues Dude, how are ya? Thanks for coming in. Dale says I don't have much wall space for hanging my guitars. There's not a whole lot of wall space here. You'd be surprised, but this string swing system is a 4-foot and section that you can put 5 guitars in. The way that the hooks are lined up, you can angle your guitars so they're not just straight on, so they're not taking as much space. You can put a lot more guitars on one rack and have them kind of angled, as when you go to music stores and stuff, you see them all lined up that way. So it does maximize your space a lot when you put in a system like that. And it's not very expensive. The system, for one full 4-foot piece and having 5 hooks, and these are all string swing hooks or whatever, really good quality. I think it was $99 per set or whatever. So I bought 2, and that's going to be more than enough for what I need. So definitely look into those if you're looking to find some room in your place and you want to hang your guitars and stuff. It's definitely the way to go. All right, I'm just going to go down a little bit here. Okay, Jason had to go. Thanks for dropping in, Jason. Cool. Okay, everybody's going here. R2 says, what's that, a Friedman wah? Yes, that is the Friedman wah. I don't remember the name of it. 72, I think it's called. Friedman 72. It's really good because it has a switch on it that you can change, like, different tonal qualities if you want a deeper sounding or a little bit more mid scooping and all that. There's 3 positions, and there's a light on it, so when it's active you see a light on, so you know that when you turn it off you can tell, basically, not like some other ones where you click on it a few times to make sure it's off. So yeah, that's a Friedman. I like it. I've had that for a while now, a few months anyway. I don't use a wah that much, to be honest with you, but it's nice to have. And Jamal says, now I really want an aux. Yeah, but Jamal, like I said to you in the email when you sent me that message, if you're not in a big hurry, just wait another month or so and check out the Boss unit before you buy the aux. Not saying that you shouldn't buy the aux. If that's within your budget or whatever, then definitely pull the trigger on it. That's fine. You're gonna love it. I love mine, and it works great. I'm just saying if you can wait a month, just so that you can compare it with the Boss one, because I know the Boss one is supposed to be really good, and it does have a few more features that the aux does not have. So if you can wait, you know, it might be worth your while just to hold off another month before you pull the trigger on it and see what that's all about. Okay, Shauna, you did see my reply. Cool. What Friedman was that? Are you talking about? Well, the amp is a Runt 50. The wah is a 72. It's called a 72, but the amp is a Runt 50. I traded my Mesa last week for it because the music store that I usually shop at is called Cosmo. You guys heard me talk about it many times. Is having a huge liquidation sale, and that amp there, the Friedman, was marked down like $800 or $900, and the Mesa stuff was not marked down. So when I did the trade in, it was basically an even trade, so I didn't lose any money. So I figured, you know, the Mesa was good. There was nothing wrong with the amp. It's just that tonal qualities and stuff, the Friedman was more where I wanted to be, and it felt more natural. So I went ahead. If I had to trade my Mesa in, and I would have lost, you know, $1,000, and I would have to pay an extra, like, I wasn't going to do that. But seeing that this deal was on the way it was, and they were able to do basically a swap for it, I thought that was fine with me. So that's why I did it. Cool. All right, Guitar Hack, I'll check your show out. I'm gonna, another 5 minutes here, folks, and I'm gonna call it. And then definitely check out Guitar Hack's channel at 9:30. He's doing a show, so go check that out for sure. And I'm not sure if Ben's not doing a show tonight, but he might be doing one later this week. I don't know. I'm sure he'll let us know at some point what the plan is. So you dig the wah? Yeah, I like the wah. It's just I don't use it that much. But it's nice. You know, I've always have it there. The best wah that I've used so far is the one that's built in the Helix for some reason. Not that Friedman wah isn't really good. It's the best that I've tried out of all of them as far as like a real wah. But the Helix one, built in the Helix, is wow. It's amazing. Let's see, Jamal says the Boss unit is the same price, but I'll check it out. Yeah, it's probably going to be the same price, but I believe there's a few more features to it, and some pretty respectable as far as people have tried it, like Dave Friedman and a couple of other people that build amps and stuff, you know, so they know how these amp boxes work with amps and tubes and things, and they mentioned a lot of good things about it. So that's why I say it's probably worth waiting another month when that thing ships, so that you can try it or you know, see how it is. And if you have a music store that has a good return policy, that you would like buy it or something and then bring it home and really play with it and see if you like it. And if you don't, then take it back and just get the aux at that point. That would be my recommendation when it comes to that stuff. Bearded Blue says with the Boss guys at NAMM, so I must have missed something else there. I know they did an extended like review and stuff when they were at NAMM with the Boss guys, so there's definitely some stuff online about it, but because it's not out yet to the public, it's limited to what you can see and hear. So when it gets out to the public, then we're going to see a lot more reviews and a lot more real world experience with it. which will probably make more sense at that point. So Joe Harvey's great. I'm working on some riffs and chilling with you, my peeps. Awesome. Yeah, that's what I usually do when I watch a stream. I'll usually have a guitar in my hand and, you know, playing and trying some stuff and listening into the stream, and it's a cool hangout. Ben says I'll likely go live later this week for Veda anyhow. Okay, good. Yeah, hang in there, Ben. I know it's a tough day for you. I feel for you, buddy. But you know, you have to look at the positives, and you're always a pretty positive guy as far as what I know and what I've seen of your demeanor and everything. I'm sure you'll get through this little setback and have some opportunities open up for you. All right, so I think we're at we got almost 2 minutes left, and then we're gonna call it a night, folks. And what's on the agenda for the week? Well, I probably will go live again this week. I'm not sure. Usually I've been tending to do Thursdays just a little later in the evening, like after 9 sometimes, just because I like there's something that I want to test or whatever, so I'll just run a live stream. And I did that last Thursday, just going on to test these headphones and something with the mixer, and I was just planning to just be there and jam and do a few little things, and it turned into a whole 2-hour show. You guys are so awesome. Everybody jumps in when I go live, and that's amazing. So when I get people in and I'm jamming or I'm doing something, I make a show out of it, obviously, and people want to talk and discuss and have questions or whatever. I'm all about it. So definitely look for that. If you're subscribed to my channel, just hit that little bell there and it'll give you a notification every time I go live. And I haven't done a lot of videos, like just one-offs, like reviews and things like that in the last month. All my videos for the last couple of months have all been live streams, which I seem to like doing more than these produced videos. Produced stuff is okay, but especially when it comes to reviews, like these pedals and stuff like that, you can find them there. I mean, I think that's overdone. Like, I could do a review on that Super Lead pedal, but you could go online right now and type in Super Lead by Exotics or whatever, or the company that makes this, and you'll find 25 or 30 reviews of that pedal. So there's not much more I can add to that as far as value. So unless I can do something different than it's already out there and then can give you guys some value, then I usually don't waste my time with it. But there are some things that I'm planning to do in the future, and I'd like to start with all this copyright stuff now. I used to do covers, and I'd do my own video for it and my own version of the song and stuff, but with all this nonsense going on, I haven't really focused on doing that as much. I'm focused on writing my own originals and starting to record, so that's another part of my time that's being taken up. So, but I am enjoying doing these live streams, and I will be doing more of them. And if you have show topics or things you want to see discussed more in the future, definitely put them in my comments or send me a message, private message or whatever. That's fine too. I answer all my emails and comments. I reply to everything. So yeah, I definitely take my cue off what you guys would like to see moving forward. Okay, so let's see. Landon, I'm getting my wisdom teeth out on Thursday. Dang, might miss it. That's okay. By the time I go live, Landon, you'll probably be back home and sitting with a lot of drugs, soothing your pain from the wisdom teeth. And if you're home and I'm streaming live, it should be a good watch, especially if you're on drugs. Let's put it that way. Denny Allen says these live streams help me a lot with keeping motivated. Awesome, man. I'm glad that I can do my little part as far as this community goes, and there's a lot of great people in this community, and they're putting up a lot of good content. So I think if we all work together and stay positive and keep doing some cool stuff, it gives us a place to go, hang out, talk about stuff we love to talk about, explore some different things and strategies and give ourselves each other tips and motivate each other. That's what it's all about. right? So let's keep doing that, and I think we'll all be fine. I know there's sometimes negative stuff that happens online, and some people, you know, don't like something, or they'll spew some crap, or you have trolls or whatever. You know, it's just part of the game. So I think if we focus more on the important things of what really brings value to us as a community and as everybody that, you know, participates in these live chats and everything, I think it's beneficial. So keep that in mind, and keep doing what you're doing, keep having fun. That's what life's all about. I think you only go around once. As far as I know, I haven't spoken to anybody who has left us and come back and let us know that there's something more on the other side. So that's the way I approach life. I try to enjoy it to the max as much as I can in the most responsible way that I can. Sometimes not so responsible, but I try to keep a balance. And it's the same thing with everything here. So let's try to keep that in mind, and remember there's always somebody that sometimes is going through some stuff that you know, we don't know. We haven't walked in everybody's shoes, so don't judge people too harshly when they're having a bad day and maybe doing something. Just give them a chance. And with that, I think I will say good night to everybody, and have a great week. And if I see you again on Thursday, if I do go live, we can continue our discussion and rock on, I guess. And that's it. That's it. All right, folks. Have a good night, and I will talk to you soon. Take care.